G'day trendsetters, coming to you today with my review of the Otso Cycles Warikin, a versatile steel all-road bike hailing from Minnesota. Before I begin, don't mind the sling. This is the result of a rather unfortunate crash, but I recorded all of my riding footage aboard this bike before I hit the deck. This is not a pity party, but if you'd like to know what happened here, check out the links in the description below. Adding to that goodness, I have conducted a factory tour of Otso Cycles and their sister company, Wolftooth Components. Those videos are also linked in the description below. It's time to crack on with this review video. The Otso Cycles Warikin is all about versatility, whether you're into bike packing, bike slacking, racing, cyclocross, riding with your mates, riding for fun, commuting even. This bike has all those bases covered, and I reckon looks pretty bloody sweet, shod with this luscious pair of Honjo fenders, which is exactly as I reviewed the bike during the review period. The frame features custom butted 4130 chromoly tubing with tyre clearance at 700C by 50mm front and rear. At the dropouts on this bike is Otso's tuning chip system, which enables you to adjust the wheelbase length 20mm forward and back. The rearmost facing position is designed for comfortable cruising on dodgy gravel roads. The forward facing position is designed for perhaps racing, maybe a cyclocross race, or if you want to go zooming about the place with some mates. And then you have the middle position, which is what I call the middle of the road position. I left the bike in its rear facing mode for the entire duration of this review. Tweaking that chip also adjusts the bottom bracket height by up to 4mm and the head tube angle by up to ½ a degree. The Warikin supports geared drivetrain, whether they be 1x, 2x, or you've also got the single speed option. And as you can see, there's plenty of support for racks and fenders. Honjo fenders already installed, and in terms of mounting points, we get the traditional places on the down tube and seat tube for bottle cage mounts, and beneath the down tube in a place I like to call the cow catcher for obvious reasons. Unfortunately, there's no top tube mount for a bento box, etc. I think that's a miss on the part of Otso Cycles, so I hope they remedy that in a future edition of this bike. The all-carbon lithic fork, lithic being a house brand to Otso Cycles, also has 3 mounting points on each leg, meaning versatility for a cargo cage, etc. And of course, rear axles, front and rear, and flat-mounted brakes. The other thing to notice, all of the housings are routed externally. Of course, barring the shifting system, which is electronic. I'll cover that later. But ease of maintenance, a lot of people are going to love that. The housings for the brake run beneath the down tube, and the front hydraulic brake housing behind the fork leg to the front brake caliper. The Warikin's progressive geometry is designed to provide a smooth and stable ride, perfect for bike packing, light touring, tooling about on some flowy single track, whatever you're into really. Certainly you could race this bike, but I feel that Otso Cycles has a couple of better options if racing is your thing. The Warikin is available as a frame and fork option, or there are several pre-built options available. All are 1x flavor at the time of this video. You can learn more about those options on the otsocycles.com website. This review sample is fitted out with the SRAM Rival Axis Mullet build variant. So you've got the fantastic Rival E-Tap Axis shifters, you've got the Mullet part, which is the Eagle GX rear derailleur, and it arrives with a massive pie plate cassette. You might notice I've got a smaller cassette there. I've been running a 10-36, which works quite well. It's not supposed to, but it does, because I've been riding this bike mostly in North Florida and southern Georgia. But you have the big pie plate as an option for scaling the walls, etc. The crankset is a forced carbon unit that will differ from the example you might receive, and it's fitted with a Wolftooth 38 tooth chainring. The components in this bike mostly were swapped from a show bike at Otso's booth at the 2024 Made Show. When I saw this bike in person, I said to Kurt of Otso, g'day mate if you're watching, I must have this bike to review, it looks super fun. And here we are. Wrapping up the tech specs on this fine bike, the Otso Warakin is available in 3 liveries: tangerine, navy gold, and racing green, like this example here. The bottom bracket on this bike is the venerable, the long-standing English thread 68 millimeters, and the seat post is a regular round 27.2 millimeter unit. This review sample is a size 54. That means you get a 545 millimeter top tube, and in the case of this bike here, that is a Simworks 110 millimeter stem paired with a Simworks 27.2 millimeter aluminium seat post. I think it looks quite fetching, all polished here, even though they are covered in crap from my riding. So that's the tech specs covered, trendsetters. Now I think it's time to find out how the Otso Cycles Warakin Steel Allroad rides. This bike is simply a ton of fun to ride, made extra classy with the Honjo fenders, which drew attention every time I rode it. The Steel Warikin isn't winning weight-winning contests here, but that isn't the point of this bike. Certainly you could shed some weight from the bike if desired, but stripping it down would ultimately lose some of its appeal, at least to me. The bike's geometry is classified as progressive, which usually means longer top tube, shorter stem, and geometry that's a little slacker. That also means I should have been riding the size 56, but I like to break the rules around here and ignore the recommended rider height and size of just about every manufacturer. Bike fitting is personal. What works for me may not work for you, but I was very happy I chose to ride the smaller size 54. It felt snappier with slightly quicker handling while retaining the plush feel and fab ride quality the geometry sets out to achieve, aided by the Warikin's steel frame. I freely admit I don't like a super slow handling bike, which is what some of these progressive geometry bikes have become nowadays. With that said, the Warikin Steel isn't a high-performance oriented performance machine, but realistically more suited as a great all-rounder that will tackle anything you can throw at it in a calm and predictable manner. The tuning chip is a nice idea and concept, and I've tinkered with similar systems on other bikes. Whilst the forward position does make a little difference, I simply prefer the longest setback limousine setting, which provides comfort, especially on this smaller size. Bike packing isn't my thing, but even with full-size bottles loaded on board, there's plenty of room beneath the top tube for a bag slung beneath it. I'd prefer to hit this bike in light touring mode, so to speak, with a tail-fin rack, trunk bag, etc., and a couple of days kits and civvies to walk about town in. The all-carbon fork adds versatility to the overall package and gobs of tyre clearance front and rear. This review isn't about the build kit or the sweet wheel set on this build, but I appreciate Otso's available offerings, although I do wish 2x was available as a pre-build. Quick segue, this wheel set features Minnesota-made Onyx hubs, and those rims are by We Are One Composites, which combine into a really sweet hand-built wheel set that suits this bike to a T, and a wheel set I would love to keep to myself. Unfortunately, trendsetters, this wheel set is not available as a stock offering. Overall, the Otso Cycles Warakin Steel is a fun, capable and versatile bike, and it's something very different to what I typically review, but I've enjoyed every single kilometre or mile. Depending on how you spec the Warikin Steel from otsocycles.com, or if you choose to build your own as a frame and fork, this bike potentially won't break the bank. Trendsetters, there you have it, my review of the Steel is Real Otso Cycles Warakin Allroad bike, designed for versatility and a whole ton of fun. I sincerely hope you found this review to be somewhat helpful, because there's a ton of gravel bikes available on the market for your purchasing pleasure. Rightio, as always, thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the Gravel Cyclist YouTube channel for real world, no bull gravel bike reviews such as this one, other product reviews, ride experience videos, and of course my favorite, general madness. The race is on. What the fuck am I doing with my life? Oh yeah, even though I've got GIMP status right now, it's pretty bloody awesome. I'll see you in the next video.